morning is speaking of speech number 8. Speech length is 5 to 7 minutes. He's speaking from the Competent Communication Manual. He's making use of visual aids. The title of his speech is Hugs Are Therapeutic. His introduction this morning is, Professor Harry Harlow did experiments with rhesus monkeys and discovered that they chose physical contact with a soft, cuddly surrogate mother over a wire one, even when the wire one was equipped with a bottle of milk. We, as humans, are not so different. And both humans and monkeys who are raised in isolation and without contact comfort wind up being psychologically damaged. To hell with political correctness. Ask somebody if they want a hug and then hug them. They need it, and you need it too. David Bernstein.
Fellow Toastmasters, good morning.
Good morning.
I admit it. I need hugs. I need love. I think we all do. Actually, there are statistics that say that we all need 14 hugs a day. 14 hugs a day. For optimal health, emotionally, physically. How many people in the room get 14 hugs a day?
From my dog.
Exactly. But we do, as Henri Claude told us when he was Toastmaster. You know, we all need love. Henri Claude loves everybody in the room. And as Henri Claude and I can tell you, the 6 words that a lover and a hugger wants to hear least in the entire world are, "Get away from me, you pervert." Now I'm not talking about sexual hugs. Men can hug men, women can hug women. I'm talking about good, honest, loving hugs. Now, how do we know that we all need hugs? I turn your attention to the handouts that you have in front of you and the research of Dr. Harry Harlow. Now, Dr. Harlow is relatively well known in psychological circles, perhaps not so well known in this room. A lot of the research that he did might today be considered animal abuse. His most notable experiments, and the ones that are recounted here on the paper in front of you, involved baby rhesus monkeys that he took away from their mother in the first few hours after they were born. And then he put them in a confined space with 2 surrogate mothers, one of which was made of wire, and the other of which was made of foam and covered with soft terry cloth carpeting. And he found that even when the wire mother was equipped with a bottle and a nipple so that the baby monkeys could get nutrition from it, they chose, when they were presented with a stressful situation, such as a loud noise perhaps, or even when not presented with a stressful situation, they sought out the comfort of hugging the cloth-covered mother. As I was saying, Dr. Harlow did some other experiments as well, like keeping the monkeys in darkness for extended periods, some for years on end, things that we could question in terms of ethics in the treatment of animals. But the thing that he demonstrated with this particular experiment is that the monkeys needed affection, wanted to feel warmth and comfort, even more than they wanted to be fed, which is pretty extraordinary, I think, and probably applies to most of us more than we care to consider. Now, I have an assistant with me today who will help me demonstrate my own personal knowledge of this particular phenomenon. This is my good friend, Burley Bear. Burley is a product of the Applause Toy Company. I think he's still being made if you want one of your own. But as you can see, Burley has very sad eyes. and he really is very soft and cuddly, and he makes you feel that your world isn't such a bad place because he looks so worried. I was given Burley by a girlfriend during law school, and subsequently, after we broke up, I gave him to a younger female cousin. Now, those of you who heard my icebreaker know that in 1988, I spent some time in the hospital, paralyzed from the neck down. And the first 2 weeks I was in a coma, and then I woke up. And I wasn't expected to survive the coma, but I did. And then I spent another 2.5 months completely paralyzed from the neck down and on a respirator with a tube inserted in my neck. I wasn't in a position where people were coming over and hugging me. I had virtually no personal contact, except doctors poking and prodding, which isn't the kind of comfort that one needs, especially when going through a very stressful period like that. So I had gotten Burley back from my cousin, and my mother hung him up by the window with a piece of tape around his neck. So at least I could see him, and I could remember that before I had any girlfriends, or dogs like Benny and Daisy, who you might also remember, I used to sleep with Burley, well into the period when I considered myself an adult. And after a while, when I was able to speak a little bit, I asked my mother to take Burley off the wall and place him here. I couldn't reach up and hold him, but he was able to sit on my neck, and I felt his softness against my face, and it was a tremendous comfort. We all need comfort and love and affection. And I suggest to you that you reach out for it if it's not coming by itself. I think most people who know me well know that I'm a hugger from way back. So if anybody ever needs a hug, you feel free to ask me, or Henri Claude, or anybody else in the room who won't find it offensive, because nobody really should. So after all of this, my advice to you is go out and share some hugs, because the people you're going to hug need it, and you need it too. Mr. Toastmaster.